of life, the eternal spark. The door to heaven stands open wide. The door is in the heart, so step inside. Step within the breath you breathe. Breathe in deep now and feel the peace. Let the breath lead you into your heart. Let it connect you to your eternal spark. The plan of ages slowly unfolds. Within its great purpose, man evolves. Ages of suffering, grim to bear, but how else would we learn to love, care and share? So let not your troubles hold you in their sway, nor let your problems sweep you away. These are but the trials that make us strong. They'll keep on coming whilst to the earth we belong. So breathe your way through every trial and task, knowing that none will ever last. And breathe into every good fortune and joy, knowing also that they will pass. Our lessons, they come in light and dark. Let neither trick you from your eternal spark. Good and evil are but the masks that life wears in the play of human Deep within the human heart lies the spring of life, the eternal spark. The door to heaven stands open wide. The door is in the breath, so step inside. Step within the breath you breathe. Breathe now and feel the peace. This is the inner way. We are all incarnations of source consciousness. We are all the one being in the many bodies. And the way we access our inner divine self is through the breath, that inner spark of life is experienced in the breath. When we surrender to the breath and just allow that peace to overwhelm us, to overcome us, then we are connected. Remember, meditation starts when thinking stops. The plan of ages slowly unfolds. Within its great purpose, man evolves. Ages of suffering, grim to bear. But how else would we learn to love, care, and share? So let not your troubles hold you in their sway, nor let your problems sweep you away. For they are but the trials that make us strong. They'll keep on coming, whilst to this earth we belong. In my last video, I spoke about the angels, how we're all angels in the making, angels undergoing upgrading, angels here to learn our lessons. We take this life so seriously, but in fact, it's no different to going into a flight simulator. And each lifetime is a day in the flight simulator. Because you see, they don't let chaps fly jumbo jets until first they've served their time in a flight simulator. Pilots have to be trained, you see. So they're not going to give you your wings to fly as an angel through the universe until you've learnt to fly. Until you've earned your wings. And this is the plan of ages, which slowly unfolds. Within its great purpose, man evolves. Ages of suffering, grim to bear, because we learn through suffering to love, care, and share. There's no other way. We evolve spiritually as angels through difficulty, challenge, and adversity. If there was any other way, it would be available to us. Well, there are other ways, just through love, through relationships, through being kind to each other. You know, we'd make our journey on this planet a lot easier if we all loved one another, if we didn't go out shooting missiles at each other and bullets and bombs and things like that, beating each other up, making life a misery, complaining, judging, grumbling. You think of it, most of our troubles come from other human beings. They used to come from lions, you know. In ancient times, lions were roaming free. They used to eat people up until somebody invented a bow and arrow. That's about 70,000 years ago. But meanwhile, with the lions gone, we've got some sort of control over nature. We give ourselves grief. So learning to love, care, and share is really what it's all about, because I don't think the universe wants us out there. If we're a load of miserable, vindictive, fighting, greedy, uncaring, callous human beings, we've got to be real about ourselves. So we're here to go through a course. It's a bit like Avatar, you know. We're avatars. We're in that chamber, you know, where our consciousness incarnates into the body, but it's not real, just a movie. And we're in a 3D movie here, just a flight simulator. It's not even real. So if we can let go, if we can start loving and giving, stop taking it all so seriously. I mean, money, how much of it do we give away? And how much of it do we take away to ourselves? Big discrepancy there. So learning to be loving, learning to be giving. And the great spiritual masters, angels that have come here as teachers, like Yeshua, Buddha, Zoroaster, St. Francis of Assisi, they all set an example of loving, caring, and sharing. So breathe your way through every trial and task, knowing that none will ever last. Breathe your way through every good fortune and joy, knowing also that they will pass. Our lessons, they come in light and dark. Let neither trick you from your eternal spark. Good and evil are but the masks that life wears in the play of human hearts. In the 10th book in the series of Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch, book 10, Yesterday's God it's called, it recommends that wherever we see the word God, we exchange it for the word life. Because that's what God is. We use these words like God or, whatever word we use, divine. But actually, it's the life force. It's the life force that's ubiquitous. We're all incarnations of that one life force. And when we die, we leave the body, a shell behind, and the life force goes on with all cognitive faculties. Near-death experiences prove that. So breathing our way through every trial and task, what we're doing is we're connecting to that life force, knowing that none will ever last. We always get so caught up in our challenges and difficulties, and we forget they always pass. And then just as, then we get a time of joy and ease and things are going great, but we know that doesn't last either. So we've got to be careful not to be drawn away from our inner core self by either of these illusions, good and evil, of good times and bad times. Good and evil are but the masks that life, otherwise known as God, also Satan, the devil, the good side and the bad side, the good guy and the bad guy. It's just a mask that the life source wears in the play of human hearts. It's just, these religious stories are just stories. The idea that God and the devil are enemies. Read the Bible, the book of Job. Satan's going in there and having a conversation with God, and God puts him up to testing poor old Job. It's God's idea, not Satan. Satan says, oh yeah, good point. I think that's a good idea. We should test him. And God says, yeah, you go out and test him so long as you don't kill him. Anything you want to do. Come on. Who's naughty? If you're going to judge anyone, you have to judge a higher authority. So it's all the play of life, We need, poor old Job, I know it's a hell that he went through when you read that book, but, it was teaching us that we can survive the most difficult times of challenge and adversities, and then it does pass, and then everything comes back to us 100-fold. And it's all part of this training in the flight simulator we know as planet Earth. Namaste. Thanks for listening.